Hello Year 10, this is Mr. A and this is your music homework, composition homework that's due in on Thursday the 15th of November next week. The video is going to be in two parts, part 1 and part 2, because YouTube can only do a certain number of minutes per video, and I'm going to take both videos offline on Thursday the 15th at 10 o'clock. Okay, so the idea of this homework is to consolidate and round up the work that we've been doing in composition lessons. If you need to do some extra research because you can't remember the odd thing here and there, that's fine. You've got musictheory.net online that can help you, as well as Google or whatever you choose to research with. So this homework comprises 20 questions, and on a selection of questions there'll be extension tasks, and that's for piano players who have a good knowledge of music reading. Well, you should all have a good knowledge of music reading, but some of you have obviously been playing piano for longer, and therefore you can tackle the extension questions. If you can all tackle the extension questions, fantastic, but it might require more research. Pause as you need to, because I'm going to be demonstrating things on the piano. Now, you need to open up a Word document, or you can do it handwritten if you like, but probably the easiest way, as you're online watching this, is to open up a Word document. And as we go through the questions, just put the numbers and the answers down. So the first question is question number 1. And what I want you to do is, there's no playing involved, I'm not going to play the piano at all. I want you to write down the pattern of major, minor and diminished chords that we've learned in composition lessons. It's the one we all said together, so you just need to type that pattern of chords of major, minor, diminished. Pause if you need to. Question number 2. This is another question that doesn't require the piano, it just requires you to answer the question, and the question is this: why do we generally start and finish with the same chord? For example, if I start on a C chord, whatever my chord progression is, I would probably end on a C chord. Why is this? Question number 3. I'm going to play you an example of a few chords, a chord progression if you like. Here we go. So C chord, a very simple chord progression played in the simplest manner, but the last two chords were G and C, and that's chord 5 and chord 1 if you're in the key of C major, and we are in this example. So the question is, why is chord 5, G to chord 1 a really good way to end your chords progression? Question number 4 to question number 13 require you to answer the type of chord that I'm going to play on the piano. For example, in this case, C, E, G, your answer would be C major. Now if you can't remember the pattern of semitones, that's the steps like 4 plus 3, 3 plus 4, and you can't remember whether they're major or minor, or diminished or augmented, then you need to do a little bit of research about now. Because here we go. Here's question 4. What chord is this? Pause if you need to. We're going to go quite quick through these, so feel free to pause. Question 5. What chord is this? Question 6. What chord is this? Question 7. What chord is this? Question 8. What chord is this? Question 9. What chord is this? Count the steps carefully with that. Question 10. What chord is this? Question 11. What chord is this? Question 12. What chord is this? And question 13, what chord is this? At this point there are 5 extension questions, so you need to type 13A, 13B, 13C, 13D and 13E. Have a go at these extension questions if you can. It's good experience to know about inversions. Okay, now inversions are where you turn a chord another way round, and we'll look at more of this later on in part B of the video. So the example I'm going to give you is a C chord, for example. If I play C, C, E, G, that's what we call a root chord. That's the way it normally is, a normal way of playing the chord. C is the root note, and C chord, like this, is the root chord. Now if we put the C higher up, or think of it as the E being the lowest note, it's still a C chord, but the note's a different way round. That's what we call a first inversion, when an E is in the bass instead of a C. We can also have what we call a second inversion, and that's when there's the root chord. Imagine that the G is the lowest note. I'm going to put this one down, so we have G, C and E. So it's still a C chord, still sounds similar, slightly different quality of sound because the G is in the bass. Okay, you need that information. Feel free to look it up more on inversions on musictheory.net if you need to. This is 13A. This is a chord of F, but what type of inversion is it? Question 13B. Pause if you need to on 13A. 13B. This is an A minor chord, but what type of inversion is it? Question 13E. This is an E minor chord, but what kind of inversion is it? Giving you a bit of time on this one. Question 13D. What inversion is this one? It's a D major chord. But it's an inversion. What inversion is it? 13E. What inversion is this one? It's a C chord, but what type of chord? What inversion? That's the end of part A. Now research part B on YouTube, same title but with part B.